Hey everybody, Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon. I'm back with another Daily Deck Tech video, and we are keeping the viewer requests going. Still have a whole bunch of them, and a few more rolling in. And if you want to see your commander made into a deck tech, drop in the comments down below. Always happy to do it. We also have a Google form in the description that you can fill out that is working now, finally. And I can get them added there, where you can put things like budget, cards to exclude or include, etc. But without further ado, let's get straight into Stella Lee wildcard, shall we? So who is Stella Lee? Stella Lee wildcard is a 2/4 Is-It commander for 1 generic and 1 blue and 1 red, and has, whenever you cast your second spell each turn, exile the top card of your library. Until end of turn, you may play that card. So a pretty simple like red effect. This is a very common effect in red, where it's like exile the top X cards of your library. You can play them until your next turn. And then we have tap and copy target instant or sorcery spell you control, but and you can choose new targets for the copy, but you can only activate this if you've cast 3 or more spells this turn. So what our plan is we're gonna run a bunch of little dorky spells that are like one drops that draw you cards, like little cantrips, things like that, replacement effects, and then we're gonna have some big casting cost spells that once we get to that 3 marker, we're going to tap, copy those, and hopefully win out the day. So we are running minimal creatures in here because we want to pack a lot of spells into our deck. So we are only running 14 creatures. So let's take a look at them, shall we? We have ourselves Archmage Emeritus, which is Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, draw a card. This is pretty good, especially considering with Stella you can copy. Coruscation Mage and Firebrand Archer are both in here, as they ping people when you cast non-creature spells. Electrostatic Field also does this, but only for instants and sorceries. We have Electro Assault Battery, so, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you add a red. You don't lose unspent red mana as steps and phases end. If you were to leave the battlefield, you can pay X. When you do, he deals X damage to target player. So as you're playing all those little cantrip spells, you bank up some mana, and then eventually we can, like, fireball somebody, right? We do have Goblin Electromancer in here and Stormcatch Mentor, which both cheapen the cost of your spells. We have Marvin Murderous Mimic in here. He will be able to copy Stella Lee's abilities. So if you do get 3 spells going, you copy with Stella Lee, then you copy with Marvin, and do silly fun things that way. We do have Murmuring Mystic and Third Path Iconoclast. They put little dorks into play, little dudes, 1/1 birds and 1/1 soldiers onto the battlefield when you cast non-creature spells for Iconoclast, and instant sorceries for the Murmuring Mystic. We are running Varen Voice of Duality in here. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. This is really good when you have all those little dorky spells. And if you casting or copying an instant or sorcery spell causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. And then we are trying out Prismari in this deck. He does cost 7, so that's a pretty steep mana cost. However, giving your instant sorcery spell Storm is pretty good, especially when we're running a ton of little 1-drops that can draw you cards, and just it can plow through your deck pretty effectively. We are also running Vivi Ornithir in here, which you can pay 0, add X mana in any combination of blue or red, where X is his power, activate only during your turn and only once each turn. Then whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a 1/1 counter on Vivi Ornithir, and it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Now, for our sorceries, we do have a few big spells in here. We do have 1 big removal spell. Yes, Banefire is probably better, but to be honest with you, this time around, I wanted to run Star of Extinction because I absolutely love this card. I love it to death. Destroy target land, and then Star of Extinction deals 20 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. Bonus points if you throw like Brash Taunter into this deck, and then it gets hit by Star of Extinction, you can deal 20 to somebody. We have Banefire. Come on. There we are. Fireball, Banefire, and Crackle of Power for big X casting cost spells. So these are those spells that we're going to build up and then copy, because when you copy an X casting cost spell, it will copy whatever you paid X for. So say like X is 25 somehow, right? Because we have like things like Mana Geyser and other ways to generate more mana that we'll get into later. And then you copy it, then you get to shoot another one off for 25, and you don't even have to pay the extra 1 on Fireball. Bane Fire, of course, deals damage. If it's 5 or more, it can't be countered, so people can't protect from it. Crackle of Power deals 5 times X damage, which is pretty good as well. We do have Brass's Bounty in here. For each land you control, create a colorless treasure token. That's there to generate to help you ramp up to mana for things like Bane Fire, Fireball, and Crackle of Power. Mana Geyser, add a red mana for each land your tapped lands your opponents control. We have Flow State, new uncommon, and a common uncommon that I'm spiteful about. I have now bought 3 boxes of Secrets of Strixhaven, and I have only now opened 2 of these. 2. For an uncommon, that's pretty absurd. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 of them into your hand and the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. If there is an instant card and a sorcery card in your graveyard, instead put 2 of them into your hand and the rest in the bottom of your library. Pretty simple, cheap spell. Gitaxian Probe. These are all the little dorky spells, right? We have Gitaxian Probe, we have Ponder, Serum Visions, Preordain is in here. Twisted Fealty is pretty cheap as well. You gain control of a creature until end of turn, untap it. It gains haste until end of turn. Create a Wicked Roll attached to it. You don't necessarily want to take another opponent's creature. You can gain control of a creature you already control to untap it, so you could do this. So, say you play Fireball for 20. And you tap Stella Lee to copy it. You can then... oh, no, this is a sorcery. So, yeah. Regardless. Steal somebody's stuff with this. My bad. We do have things like this in the instant category. It's early in the morning for me, friends. We do have Call Forth the Tempest in here. Almost forgot about that. It is an 8-drop Cascade. Call Forth the Tempest deals damage to each creature your opponents control equal to the total mana value of other spells you've cast this turn. This is a really, really strong board wipe and a way to play a whole bunch of your silly little things. Also, if we are playing a whole bunch of things in Storming, we do have Grape Shot in here. You can use this to board wipe. You can do this to hit your opponents for a whole bunch of damage. We do have Rite of Flame in here. Strike It Rich just makes a treasure token, and you can flash it back. It's a 1-drop. It counts as one of these little dork spells that we are using to get up our Stella Lee counter. And we, of course, have Windfall in here to help refill our hand. Instants, we have 20. Alright, we have Offer You Can't Refuse and Arcane Denial as some counter magic. We don't have a lot of counter magic in here today because we want to be proactive rather than reactive in this deck. We do have Big Score, discard, draw 2, create 2 treasures. We have Brain Freeze, so if we get our storm count up high enough, we can mill some people out. We have Brainstorm, Cerulean Wisp, Consider, Desperate Ritual, Crimson Wisps in here. Cerulean Wisps is the card I was thinking of, so you can tap with Stella Lee, use Cerulean Wisps to untap her, and then tap her again, holding priority and that sort of thing. It also draws you a card. All these little cards right here are all designed to not only move up your count, but most of them, as you can see, they like draw cards to keep you moving. Desperate Ritual, Pyretic Ritual, and Seething Song all add mana, adding to the fun times there. Frantic Search lets you discard 2, draw 2, untap 3 lands, so it's essentially a free draw spell. Galvanic Iteration. Whenever you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell. You can choose a new target, so cast this and then cast one of your big spells. We do have Pongify and Rapid Hybridization for some removal. We have Swan Song in here for one more counter spell. Refocus, untaps a creature. Use this the same way I was talking about with Cerulean Wisps. Same with Twitch. We'll let you tap or untap a creature. Then for artifacts, we're running Izzet Signet and Soul Ring. Just helping us get some mana boots to protect our stuff. And then we have Resonating Loot. This card is an all-star. So lands you control have tap, add 2 mana of any one color, spend this mana only to cast instant sorcery spells. Then you can draw a card, activate only if you have 7 or more cards in your hand. This card is bonkers, especially in a Spellslinger deck like this. and it's cheap. It's 4, so as you're getting your board state set up, you put up in there. It makes it so you don't have to like play things like High Tide, which is normally something I would include in this deck, but I'm replacing the High Tide slot with something like Resonating Loot. See what we can do with that, especially since this also lets your mountains tap for double. Then for enchantments, we have Fiery Inscription. When it enters, the ring tempts you, and then whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. Pretty simple, straightforward. We have Mystic Remora, letting you draw a cumulative upkeep of 1 whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell. You may draw a card unless they pay 4. We have Shark Typhoon, so whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create an X blue shark creature token with flying, where X is the mana spell value. And when you cycle Shark Typhoon, create a XX blue shark creature token with flying. Then we also have Thousand Year Storm. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy it for each other instant and sorcery spell you've cast before it. You may choose new targets for the copy. So this, along with Prismari, are like backup, like copy effects, right? And then Alliance, we are running 38, the standard for me. We are running 13 islands, 10 mountains, because we do have quite a few blue spells, but we also have quite a few red spells with many pips in them. So that is why we chose to do that. Command Tower. I am running City of Brass in here, which is a little bit more expensive, but it does tap for any color of mana. And then a whole bunch of the cheaper dual lands. And then also a Reliquary Tower, because we are going to be drawing a lot of cards, and we don't want to get rid of those spells. I've been more cautious about when and where I play Reliquary Tower. I mostly play it in decks that do a lot of draw things, where you want to keep the cards to play them. All right, that was the build, and now we are on to playtesting. Discard. I was playtesting it yesterday earlier. All right, what do we got here? So we got a mountain. We've got ourselves island. Let's go ahead and start our turn. We'll drop that, and then we'll go to next turn. We'll drop a mountain, and we're going to drop... You know what? We're going to drop a Mystic Remora. I am okay with taking a couple turns off to draw some cards. We will say that one person draws us a card. All right. And we'll say, you know, one more person draws this card. So then we go to next turn, untap, upkeep. We'll use the mountain to pay the Mystic Remora. We are going to play our Storm Carved Coast. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 cards in hand. We are going to go ahead and we're just going to play the Coruscation Mage. We're not going to offspring it. And then we are going to end our turn. And, you know, we'll say we'll get 1 card this time. People are being more cautious. So then we untap. I will pay the 2. Honestly, at lower brackets especially, you can get away with this pretty easily. We're still going to play an island. We're going to do that. And we're going to play Is It Signet, which then will ping each opponent for 1. And we still have 7 cards in hand. This is pretty good. We're getting good card advantage. And then we pass our turn. We're going to say we're going to get 2 cards during this turn. We're going to untap and upkeep. We're going to let Mystic Remora die this time. It's already gotten us a whole bunch of mana value, right? And so we can start advancing a game plan because we have a whole bunch of stuff in here. This turn, we're going to ping ourselves for 1. We're going to play Stella Lee. And we're going to play Marvin Murderous Mimic. Right there. And that's pretty good. And then we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 cards in hand. You know, we could have done this differently to have... Yeah, we'll have an extra blue floating. And then what we can do here is... You know what? Actually, nah. We'll just pitch the Arcane Denial, to be honest with you. Next turn, we draw. The Spire Bluff Canal enters tapped. So we have ourselves 5 lands. We essentially have 6 mana available to us. We have Twitch and all of this fun stuff. We aren't quite able to do like a Banefire yet. But what we might want to do here is we can Serum Visions, things like that. But you see how you're going to start advancing. You can do this if you want, start drawing, doing things, copying things. Let's see what one more opening hand is before we go for the day. One more opening hand. It's a 2-land opening hand. We'll draw for our first turn. We'll put Temple of that. Honestly, we will move to bottom of the library. We won't keep the brain freeze because we don't have a whole lot of lands. Next turn, we'll drop our mountain. We're not doing too bad here. And then on our next turn, there we go. Spire Bluff Canal comes into play tapped. No big deal here. We're going to draw. I'm actually going to drop down the Murmuring Mystic. We don't have to advance our gameplay super fast unless somebody is on us like fast. So I'm just going to do that. And then we'll drop Stella, right? So now we have a little bit of a board state going. We'll drop our Reliquary Tower. We have 6 mana available, which, if we really want to, we will do this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We will drop Prismari. So now we are in a big, scary game state. Next turn, we'll drop Sulphur Falls. So each of our stuff has Storm, which is pretty cool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play Frantic Search. So Frantic Search, we'll get another bird, we'll ping, so we draw 2, and then we have to discard 2. And then we'll untap 3 lands. Alright, hear me out here. I am going to pitch the Lightning Greaves. And I am going to pitch the Opt. Alright, so Frantic Search is done. We have Galvanic Iteration. So, but what we're going to do here is we're going to cast this. And now this has Storm. So this first, this goes off, then there's another copy. So the first one's going to go off. So we discard this, we draw 2. And then we are going to discard this to draw 2. And then we create 4 treasure tokens. Actions. Treasure. Just imagine there's 4 of them here. I'm just going to add a set counters. 4. There we are. So we have 4 treasures, right? And storm count is now 2. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Preordain. So you get 3 copies of this one. And this is also our 3rd spell this turn. Which we're going to go ahead and copy with Stella. So we have 4 of these. So we get to Scry 2. So there's Twitch and Pyretic Ritual. And then draw a card, which we'll let ourselves just draw Twitch. We'll Scry 2. We'll put this mountain on the bottom. And then we'll let ourselves draw the Pyretic Ritual. That's number 2. 3, we get to look at Brass's Bounty and Fabled Passage. We'll put the Fabled Passage at the bottom. And we'll draw the Brass's Bounty. And then number 4 is going to go off, which is Island we get to look at. And Mountain we get to look at. And honestly, I'm going to put the Mountain on the bottom. So we have storm count 3, which is, again, pretty good. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We still have 7 lands. We can use 4, 5, 6. We don't quite have enough to cast Brass's Bounty unless we do this. So what I'm going to do next is, so this adds 2. So I would get 4 copies of Rite of Flame, which I'm just gonna do that. I get 8 mana in my mana pool. Cast Brass's Bounty for 7. This gives me 5 of these. So for each land you control, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So total we will have 39 treasures, right? And with that, we will pass our turn. So they, mind you, also with this, we have gotten a whole bunch of birds to block. We've pinged a whole bunch with Firebrand Archer this turn. Now let's see what we get with our next turn. We have an offer you can't refuse. So this is actually really good because now we do have some protection. We are going to sit here and do nothing for a couple turns, though. We do have a 7/7, so, you know, bring in the 7/7. We have the birds out there, and then we'll draw one more card. We'll have a mountain here. One thing that you could do if you really wanted to be silly to get your storm count up and do things like drawing is you could cast your Pyretic Ritual, hold priority, counter the spell. That gets your storm count to 2, but what's funny about this is it would create another copy of an offer you can't refuse. Target your offer you can't refuse. You get the 2 treasures, and you still get your Pyretic Ritual, and we'll do Twitch. You know what? Let's see where that would lead. So I'm casting Pyretic Ritual for 2 here, giving me 3 lands. I'm going to hold priority, and I'm going to cast an offer you can't refuse. Targeting Pyretic Ritual. Storm goes off. The storm copy goes onto the stack. I'm going to target an offer you can't refuse with my offer you can't refuse. It is countered. I get 2 treasures. So we are up to 41 treasures. All right. Storm count is now 2. Then we are going to tap 3. We are going to cast Twitch. What we are going to do is hold priority, because this is our 3rd spell we have cast this turn. We also are getting 3 copies of it from Prismari. We are going to tap Stella to copy Twitch. So now we have 4 copies on the stack, right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4. Math is hard. So then we're going to have the first copy go off, which untaps Stella and draws a card. Now, second one goes to resolve. We are going to, on the stack, we are going to copy the Twitch again, right? Which will let us draw a card. Oops, sorry. Draw a card. And then that Twitch will resolve. And then, you know, we're still on the stack. And you see what I'm doing here? Yeah. So this is a very silly way to do silly things with Stella Lee. And then, of course, you just keep doing that until you get the desired outcome you want. You know, desired outcome you want. And then you're going to fill up your hand. Because you can just keep copying. And then, all right, so we have a bunch of stuff. You know, you can then do, like, flow state. Look at the top 3 cards. Put one of them in your hand. If they're... So, like, you're going to be able to do a bunch of bonker stuff. Let me know what you think of the deck in the comments down below. As always, I am Weston with the Hidden Gibbon. And I hope you all have a wonderful day.